Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
This is one of the goofiest stories I've seen in a long time, and it happened in Michigan, so it's kind of embarrassing, but I don't shy away from stories just because they happened in my home state. Several people sent it to me. I'm going to go with the version from the Miami Herald, although it's been widely reported. Woman accused of trying to rent a hitman to kill her ex-husband, and she's pleaded guilty to doing so, but no one was harmed in the making of this video. Vandana Ravikumar wrote this for the Miami Herald. A woman from Michigan is accused of trying to hire a hitman to whack her husband. She's pleaded guilty to solicitation of murder, and that's according to media outlets and a press release from the Michigan State Police themselves. She's a 52-year-old from South Rockford, Michigan, and she went to a website called rentahitman.com. And yes, there is a website called rentahitman.com. Now, it's a joke. The site was actually set up as a joke, but apparently people go there and take it seriously. And the owner of the website, whenever someone approaches and says, I want to do this, he then contacts law enforcement and says, hey, got another one for you. You know, the old fish jumped into the boat. So she apparently went there last year looking for someone to do her dirty work for her, as we'd like to say. In that regard, her ex-husband. What she didn't know, of course, was the website was completely bogus. And on the website, they offer free consultations. It features customer reviews. And by the way, what happens if you give Rent a Hitman a bad Yelp review? I mean, would you? The site claims it's helped clients from all walks of life, including government employees, politicians, and even children. They claim that children have been their customers and have in fact rented a hitman from rentahitman.com. After the woman filed a request with the website, she used a fake name. So she's being cagey here. She used a fake name. She met with someone she thought was from the company, and that would be in a parking lot, according to the news release from the state police. That person was actually an undercover detective who listened as the customer explained her needs as far as the customer goes. She wanted her ex-husband out of the picture, and she gave the undercover cop his home address, work address, and work schedule, and said, this will help you do your job. Here you go. She also said she could pay $5,000, and she even reimbursed the detective $200 for travel expenses. By the way, you might be wondering, Steve, she offers a $5,000. Why would the detective say, by the way, I need $200 for travel expenses? And a lot of these kinds of cases where people are talking about something, an undercover cop is one half of the conversation. They'll often ask you to do something to show that you are serious so you won't later come into court and go, I was joking too. The website's a joke, I was joking. So when she shells out the $200 for travel expenses, it goes from the possibility of saying it was a joke to, okay, this is real. Don't get me wrong. I understand a good joke and I appreciate a good joke, but paying the $200 isn't funny. So that's real money. The woman was arrested in July of 2020 and charged with solicitation to commit murder and illegal use of a computer to facilitate a crime, according to the release. She pleaded guilty to both charges November 12th. That's why it's in the news now. And that was reported by Fox 2 out of Detroit. I know people who work there. Hey, Charlie, how you doing, man? She'll be sentenced on January 13th, 2022. Rentahitman.com calls itself a point-and-click solution and claims to keep customers' information private by complying with the Hitman Information Privacy and Protection Act of 1964, of course, which has the same initials as HIPAA. And they say that all of our competitors' websites cannot say that and shouldn't be trusted. Capiche? So somebody reading this should probably guess that it's tongue-in-cheek on some level. The company claims it's run by a guy named Guido Fanelli. And there's a stereotype there for you. But the website boasts its customizable solutions to problems of all kinds, including bullying at school or work, and troubled relationships that you just wish would go away. It also includes reviews from satisfied customers like Phil from Florida, who says that the site was able to resolve a 5-year dispute in a matter of days. Of course, none of the website's information is real. The website's run by a guy named Bob Innes out of Northern California, who was interviewed by Rolling Stone magazine. When they asked him what this is all about, he said he's an IT guy with a passion for being a kitchen detective. Said he graduated from a police academy in '99, but couldn't find a job at the time, so he went into tech. And he bought the domain name rentahitman.com for $9.20 back in '05. Didn't expect anyone to take it seriously and was surprised to find around 300 email inquiries for his services. I thought, nobody's really going to mess with this. Nobody's going to take it seriously, he thought. It was not my intention to set up a snare for people. He told Michigan State Police he believes the website may have prevented at least 130 incidents as he turns over all the requests to law enforcement. Meanwhile, the woman who is accused here and has pleaded guilty could get up to 9 years in prison. Up to 9 years in prison. And I know people are going to say, Steve, isn't this entrapment? Would this be entrapment? And of course, there's the big old loophole here that this man's not the cops. And the man is just an individual, and he's running a website that is a joke to the average person who reads it and recognizes it and goes, okay, this is not serious. But if somebody approaches a private individual and says, I want to hire you to commit a crime, okay, even if that individual appears to be soliciting that, when that person then reports you to the police, it's not entrapment because it wasn't the police running the website. And so we've all seen the Chris Hansen specials where people show up at houses thinking they're going to encounter one type of person and actually encounter a police officer. And there have been arguments made there that those are being set up with a police officer at one end on the computer pretending to be somebody else. And those, as far as I know, don't run afoul of entrapment because they're very careful what they say and what they offer and how the conversations go. But there is a police officer at one end of that conversation. Here there's not. Here there's simply a goofy website called rentahitman.com. Which makes me think of back in the early days of the internet. They're talking about how brick and mortar stores are going to go away and, cheesegraters.com is going to be the way you order cheese graters in the future. Oh, those were fun days, weren't they? So it's a crazy story. And it was sent to me by Mark, Nathan, and Daryl. And I apologize on behalf of all Michigan residents because this woman here kind of makes us all look a little silly. But I think most people in this state would have recognized the website as a joke, especially the part that it does comply with the Hitman Information Privacy and Protection Act of 1964, which, by the way, I'm guessing would be a federal statute. Otherwise, what good would it be on a website in California for a customer in Michigan? But woman accused of trying to rent a hitman to kill her ex-husband pleads guilty in Michigan by Vandana Ravikumar. The Miami Herald published it, as did pretty much everyone else. And again, on behalf of the residents of Michigan, I'll apologize because I think it makes us look silly. So I'm sorry. There you go. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Sometimes the road less traveled is less traveled for a reason.